What is up, guys? It is Wolfman here with Wolfman Rants 411, and I don't really want to get political, so I'm just going to talk about the general principle today of what the F is going on in this world, right? So I want to start off with this one here. This is, if you watch the news, don't watch the news, I don't know, it's something good to learn, is that the U.S. is trying to acquire Greenland because it's in between Russia and China and us, and it's, you know, kind of the gateway to get products back and forth. And whoever owns Greenland, I can't remember, Dubai, I don't know, some other country, Denmark is actually in a process of trying to give it to China, and America's not liking that, yada yada, I don't know. There's two sides to every story, and I don't know neither. So, you know, I'm just the dude here that is just looking at the general big picture. And what I want to say is, thousands rally in Greenland, its capital city, chanting Greenland is not for sale after President Trump doubles down on the U.S. initiative to acquire the country. U.S. protest is reportedly the biggest demonstration in the nation's history. This is coming from Fox News, out of all places. So if you've never seen Fox News, or you know, there to me is a decent, at times, a decent news source. Other times, not so much. It's hard to tell which side they're going to be on. Pretty much all the news places just kind of lean towards whoever's going to be the next president. They kind of go against that because, you know, that's just the news. So, anyways, good beer. And I just wanted to say, you know, if this is the largest protest and it's got, you know, a majority of their people out there, what was it, thousands? I can't remember what it said. Thousands rally in Greenland. I mean, how many people live in Greenland? That's got to be the whole country, right? So if they're out there rallying because they don't want McDonald's to show up there because, you know, the U.S. acquires it, however, then kudos to them for all standing up and doing what they feel is right. Look at that. That's a lot of people, right? And one of the reasons why they just might not want to have America acquire them is for things like this. This dude here is in the backseat of a car. These guys are ripping this door open and they just start kicking the crap. Look at that. Kicking the crap out of this guy. Would you put up with it? Like, what would you do? You're being mobbed by a bunch of dudes and chicks or whatever, I don't know. Mobbed by a bunch of morons that swarm in your car and, you know, kicking the crap out of the kid in the back seat. For what? What, do you think for once that Greenland would really want to be a part of that? I mean, this country has gone mad right now. Mad crazy. What? No, I don't even know what's going on. So it's not even really the politics of it. It's just, why are people just losing their shit right now is beyond me. So, on the bright side though, listen. Is that him? Yes, open the door. Right? Open the door. Kicking him. Trying to kick his head. Kicking. This dude doesn't even look very old, right? Is that him? Just because he could be a conservative. He was a conservative, supposedly, or looked conservative or something. Other people are saying just let him go, it's not worth it. Let him go, it's not worth it. That makes sense to me. Let him go, it's not worth it. This is happening in a lot of places right now. People are running up on people just because they could look like an ICE member, or just because they could look like a conservative, or I don't know. They're saying if you're not with the movement, you're against us, or something like that, is what I've been hearing a lot of. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of a firm believer in get a job, make your money, spend it having fun and doing things that you enjoy, and go back to work again. So, you know, where do you have time to do all this? Where do these people have time to antagonize other people and blow their whistles and sirens and be obnoxious? It reminds me of like a classroom full or let's just say an auditorium or gymnasium full of kids, and you have this group of 20 kids who you tell them no, they can't play with the chairs, and they throw a fit and stomp their feet and drop to the ground and just throw this big old hissy fit temper tantrum. This is what to me it seems like. The world is just going crazy, and I don't understand why. What do you think the world's going crazy for? Drop that in the comments down below. I'd be happy to hear what your take is on this. On a different note, we have this one here. This is a picture of the young lady who was brutally unalived, right? I guess you can say died now. I don't know. Dead or something. I don't know. YouTube's being a little nicer nowadays on the words because people are just using other words to mean the same word anyway. So they're kind of letting up on some of that stuff. Who knows if they'll let up on it or not. But this young lady here, and I can't remember her name. She's a Ukrainian lady that came, a young Ukrainian girl. She was somewhere around the age of 24 on the subway coming home from work. Described as a beautiful, loving, love to help people girl who came here from Ukraine to have a better life. And she was also a BLM supporter, and she was kind of the leftist. And this dude up here just went up and just got her right in the neck, got her a few times, and then she fell onto the floor and bled to death and died. I can't remember her name. This is sad, right? And I see a lot of people like Tim Pool and other people who are talking about the newer ones, the fire on the subway and these other ones going on. And this one here keeps being forgotten. And I just want to keep pointing out to the fact that this young lady suffered a terrible, terrible death, right? At the hands of somebody who was let out of jail multiple times, 60 times or something like that. I don't know. He was let out of jail a lot of times, ridiculous amount. And if he was put away like he should have been, she'd still be walking the streets right now, working, enjoying her life, talking with her family in Ukraine, all of that good stuff. But she's not here because our government cannot put people in timeout like they should be. So anyways, this next one is a guy in a hotel, and he was doing what he probably shouldn't have been doing, right? He might have been a little dissatisfied with the hotel. He might have been, I don't know, who knows? Could have been on something. I really don't know. This dude, nonetheless, kicked the door in on this hotel, and I'm kind of with this guy here. It says stand up for Trump. Again, I don't really care about the politics side of it. It is what it is. I wouldn't care if it said the hot liberal on there. It doesn't matter. What does matter is an unhinged man didn't get his way in a hotel, and that's exactly what it's going to look like here in a second. So he kicked through the glass front door like it's GTA. This is how the officer responded. Was this justified? Yes or no? Now it says stand up for Trump and verified. So who knows? It could be your neighbor writing this and he paid the $8 a month to get the check mark. Who knows, right? So we're not going to worry about that. And then right here it says, if yeah, give a thumbs up. If you think that's the case, let's make this go viral. And I agree. Let's make this go viral. Anyways, I've talked enough. So let's see how this video clip plays out for this dude.
He's at the wrong.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I bet you he beats his mom. May I have a room? Bam. Justice.
That's some shit right there.
Stop. Stop.
All right.
Force is used.
All right.
Force is used. That's what I'd say too. Force is used, brother. That is right. So if the door doesn't open and you're not happy about that, you're just going to kick it in and go up and say, may I have a room? And then when the cops get there because you broke the window, because, I mean, look at that. Look at that. because you couldn't get your way. You had to break in and go to the counter, and then you want to talk crap to the police officer that is there to protect the place, and you get your clock cleaned. I think it was justified. What do you think? Throw that in the comments down below. I think if everybody had repercussions on the stuff that they do, there would be a lot less stuff happening, right? Think about that. There's a lot of stuff going on. If you have a job and, you know, some of these people probably never even had one, who knows? Or their job at McDonald's got taken out by AI or something. I don't know. But you have, if you have a job and you have a boss that's kind of always breathing down your back and you're like, oh man, Oni's just a bad guy, man. He's always breathing down my neck and like he's making me push out all the parts I can do. And then, you know, we made rate today, barely. Well, you barely made rate because he was pushing you, but you made rate, which paid the bills to pay your paycheck, right? Kind of get that? And then you have these jobs where you don't have a boss and the boss is, you know, doesn't care what you're doing. You're not going to work nearly as hard, right? You're not going to work nearly as hard as you would if, you're not going to work nearly as hard as you would if you had somebody breathing down your back, right? Well, growing up, kids can't teach themselves how to be good people. They need good people to teach them how to be good people. I've watched kids grow up, total, complete discipline, turned up to be gentlemen, right? I've seen some go the opposite way. But you also have kids that growing up with no discipline. Mom and dad's not really there. They have, you know, they can do whatever they want to. That nobody's really watching what they're doing, and no discipline, no nothing. Pregnant at 15, pregnant at 12, pregnant at 13, on drugs, died of fentanyl overdose. Tons and tons of things happen with people who just don't get the discipline and don't get the family dynamic that they need to grow up to be great people. Now, you are a product of how you were raised. So I know people who was raised on the very, very poor side, and they didn't have much going for them, and their kids grew up, don't have much going for them, right? It's hard to pull yourself out of that scenario when you have no guidance, right? You have no drive, you have no desire to get yourself out of that and lift yourself up. And it's really hard for people, man. So like this guy here, he could be a good dude on a good day. I don't know. It's hard to tell, right? All we get is this little video clip, but I don't know. I don't care how mad you are. Kicking in a door and then going after these people and all that stuff, you kind of deserve that. What do you think? Anyways, I talked enough about that. Next up is a random page. Here's another instance of a bad thing. This dude right here that you see on the screen, right here, is a guy who was drunk and set a woman on fire on the subway. Now, I can't really show you, but you can see her legs right there. Above that is on fire, so I can't show you, I don't think, what that looks like, but you can go on X and find it. Just type in woman burned on a subway and you'll find it. This lady here was burned alive by this guy, this beast who just doesn't care, and poured gas on her and just lit her up. Why? Because he felt like it. That's why. Now, this dude here, he was arrested the next day and hit with federal terrorism charges. Thank gosh, I wish I had my sound effects going, and let's clap for that. Which could make him eligible for the death penalty if convicted. I would like to throw donations in on that if possible. I would like to help pay and cover the charge, the state charge of whatever it takes to get that, because if you're going to unalive somebody, you deserve to be unalived. Reed had 22 prior arrests since 2016 alone. 22 prior arrests. 53 criminal cases in Cook County dating back to 1993. 9 of them are felonies, which he pleaded guilty, officials said. If you plead guilty, you get a lesser charge. right? So he's just going to plead guilty, walk right out the door, and go do it again. However, he only served time twice, spending just 2.5 years behind bars in total. So you had 22 prior arrests, 53 criminal cases. I don't know if that adds together, if that's all part of it. I really don't know how the criminal system works. I don't know. And I'm careful to scroll down because there's just a bunch of pictures of the lady on fire, and I just think that is ridiculous. And if you have no decency for other people, you shouldn't be here. If you're going to... I could understand if you came here from another country and you waved your flag. I could see that, along with the American flag, because you wanted a better life. I get that. But when you come into the country illegally and you burn our flags while holding yours, if your country is that great, go back to it. Why are you here? Brings me into another thought because my mind's just all over the place, right? I heard today about how the Somalis are coming over, and this isn't all of them. This is just not even my opinion, just what I heard, is that the Somalis come over and they're stealing all this money and sending it back overseas. There's TSA agents that say that there's kind of at the minimum amount about $300,000 in a suitcase, anywhere up to $5 million, which is about $2.5 million in a suitcase per person. That gets sent back over to Somalia. And there is proof, I don't have it here right now, but there is proof that that is actually happening. So anyways, Somalis are, coming over and then bringing, sending all the money back. But there was something said about possibly a takeover, right? You got all these people coming in from the other countries. You got Congresswoman, that's a Somali person. Big controversy there, whatever. But it was said that these people are coming over doing a slow takeover of the U.S. because they feel that the land is theirs. They feel that America should be theirs. Who am I to say, right? It used to belong to the Indians as far as I know, and, Whiteys came over and took it. So here we all are. So I don't really understand all of that. Not really a huge history buff. But it got me thinking. Didn't we take somehow and acquire, I don't know, New Mexico or California? Wasn't it something like that area over that way, Mexico at one point? And that got me thinking, if that was Mexico at one point back in the day, and now California has a whole bunch of people from Mexico, and they quietly kind of came in over all these years to where now there's more Hispanics than Americans. Wouldn't that be a quiet takeover too? Do you think at some point California will end up Mexico again? I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time since things have changed hands, but what would make the country a better place? What do you think? Put it in the comments down below. What do you think would make the country a better place? Lands can change ownership, I guess. Things can change. The maps can change. Who knows? The United States aren't really that united anymore. So, I mean, it could be individual states. Then individual states has to fight to keep their stuff. And who knows? Maybe Mexico will stretch into the California and Arizona, New Mexico area. I don't see them getting into Texas. Texas just kind of, you don't mess with Texas, right? I don't know. Just random babble from a naive guy that doesn't really know a whole bunch, but watches a whole bunch. And anyways, I just think timeout chairs didn't work back in the day, and some kids just need lessons. So anyways, that's enough of this. You all have yourself a wonderful night, and my name is Wolfman, and until next time, peace out. Yo, peace.